right. Hey, everybody. Guess what? We got a treat for you today. Welcome to the TSS podcast with Jan Venturini. Jan is also a psychic and a reader, not a book reader, but a kind of a life reader. She'll kind of look into the future of the most famous, most notorious, most talked about man in the universe right now, and that being Donald Trump, President Donald Trump. Um, I think the man's out of his mind. So,
Well,
but I
you
have
know
to say
what?
that. But Jan, go ahead. Let's hear what you have to say.
Actually, okay, I think we should do the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because in reality, people have said, how does he get by with so much? Okay. How does this guy get by with so much? We know that his sister did most of his homework. He's probably ADHD because
Hmm.
it's hard for him to focus to read. The only book we know that he's really read is the book about Hitler, which sits beside his nightstand in his bedroom.
Hmm.
But in reality, when I was looking, he's never Donald Trump has never provided to anyone his actual time of birth. So astrologers, which I do, I like to look at astrology for people.
Okay.
Um, Astrologers have kind of determined because of his showmanship, his need to be seen, all right, his desire to have his name on everything, that he more than likely, as a Gemini, has Leo rising, that really kind of fits his whole persona. And if I ran his chart with a Leo rising, and what's fascinating about that is it does show why he's had so much luck and able to schmooze and be powerful with people. When he was born, his sun, which is your personality, was
Hmm.
in the sign of Gemini, and it was in the 10th house of the 10th house of the house of career. It's the
Hmm.
house of the father. All right.
Okay.
His father's son, all right, but he has in his chart tons of karma with women because he has Saturn, which is where our fears are, right next to Venus. They're conjunct. Conjunct means within 8 degrees, and they're just with 2 degrees apart. So a lot of his karma has come through women,
Okay. So
right?
in other words, he's got mommy issues.
He's got big mommy issues. But then he also has Jupiter, the good luck planet of money and expansion in the house of money, in the
Obviously.
second house. These are the two best places you can have your sun and and have Jupiter, okay? So
Mhm.
here we have a man who is able to sway people because he's got more guts than he has intelligence, okay?
All right.
But the problem is he's basing his whole structure of how to run this country on Fox News that he listens to every night.
Right.
All right. So he listens to Fox News Entertainment. I don't think we should call it Fox News. Let's call it Fox Entertainment, which is nothing's fact checked. And he bases all of his decisions on that. And a good example would be what he just said to Denmark. Greenland needs the United States to protect it because Denmark's not big enough to protect it by itself. Well, he's getting away from the reality that United States is a part of NATO. NATO takes in most of Europe that will all protect Greenland in any situation. So he's an isolationist. He separates everything. Our money is his money.
Hmm.
All right. He doesn't see beyond United States except where he can milk money from in other countries to get his more name out there. I mean, more golf courses, more hotels. He wants to build his empire, quite frankly. So he's not the president of the United States. He's the con man in charge.
Okay. I'll give you that.
And as the con man in charge,
Hmm.
he doesn't have any, I was looking to see his chart is absolutely total independence, no dependence. No, there is, his moon is in Sagittarius. He's got a fragile ego because he happens to have Saturn and Venus there. He's got Mercury, Saturn, and they're all sitting in the sign of Cancer, and that's what makes him so sensitive to criticism.
Hmm.
All right. That's why he can't handle criticism at all. And yet, there is no compassion or empathy for others. The only way you reach him is what you can give him.
Is he a sociopath?
Oh, absolutely. He's more than that. I think he's not only a sociopath, I think he has we know he has personality disorder. Which one he would have to be tested for, all right? But he shows all the signs of either borderline personality disorder, all right, which is a mild version of bipolar, which is his father was unfortunately a sociopath,
Yeah.
all right? And
Mhm.
his grandfather more than likely as well.
Probably.
And he learned from mafia. I mean, the grandfather was taught from mafia
Mhm.
how to get by and use the government to own properties, how to scam contractors. All that was passed on, learned from the mafia. Daddy taught Donald that lie, cheat, steal, but never lose.
Mhm.
That was Dad's motto. You lie, you cheat, you steal, but you never, ever lose. And so that's why he had such a hard time when he lost to Biden and he wouldn't accept it as a loss. He'll never accept anything as loss. The tragedy is that his diet is so poor, Jim, that I'm watching and I'm looking at him and I'm watching him. I know presidents age in office, but
Mhm.
he's falling apart in front of our eyes. His mental acuity is not sharp. It's not where it needs to be. All right. His body is looking worn out. He's falling asleep, sitting and listening in the middle of a meeting. His focus is not there. And and he stays up late at night fabricating things and posting. And so it's he is losing power more and more each day. Okay. But it's the we as a universe created having somebody like this
Mhm.
who would be a Hitler in charge. He's doing the very same thing Hitler did in Germany.
Sure.
And we're doing the very same thing that the people did there by not standing by and not doing anything about it. And people, we have to stand up. We have to vote. We have to, doesn't matter whether or not you even like his party, you almost have to vote against his party because right now, too much of his party is owned by him.
Is on what?
Too much of his party is absolutely controlled by him right now. Therefore, you almost have to just go, okay, fine, come November, doesn't matter what party you belong to, you got to vote against the man. It's just what you have to do. There's no, and it's because we're in a massive time of change. When you're on a time of change on the planet, everything comes to a head. Okay. We are now looking at potential wars. We're looking at problems with the Middle East. We're looking at problems with Europe. We're losing all of our allies. We're losing Canada. They're merging now with China. We used to be their ally, and they did nothing with China because the United States was their ally. Well, now they're merging, and China's their ally.
Mhm.
And we're being isolated as a country because we're being run by an isolationist, quite frankly.
Mhm.
Okay, that's the bad news. The good news is it's all going to become very apparent very shortly that he does not have the capacity to run the country any longer. All right.
Well,
It's
I
going
don't
to,
think he ever did.
well, no, of course he didn't. He's just an entertainer. But the problem is there's too many people that don't fact check and can be swayed. All right.
I think he's just a puppet or he's just a stagecraft for the people who are really in power.
Well, we've had this since, go back to the factions that are behind presidents, all right? But Donald Trump puts people that have no skill set in positions, which has made it even worse. This is why it's gotten so out of control, is that we have our attorney generals do not represent the president of the United States. Attorney generals represent the United States, and they have a sole position to not communicate with the president about cases. And yet what he has is his attorney running as the our attorney. Pat Bondi is his attorney.
Hmm.
And so she's acting as attorney general in providing whatever he wants. All right. He got into the Supreme Court. He's used his skill set in his chart to get the Supreme Court where he wants it to be with his people. All right.
Hmm.
And everyone is, and Stephen Miller is a disaster. Stephen Miller
He's
is,
just evil. That man just pure evil.
yeah, I mean, yeah, but there's a purpose behind this. One thing I wanted to talk about at some time on air is that there are no random acts in the universe. All this happened for a reason.
Hmm.
And I really believe that our system was worn out for a long time, it's been worn out. We have outgrown our system many presidents ago, but
Yeah.
nothing was changing. It was the same old thing, just getting worse and worse and worse. Now, Donald Trump has taken it to the absolute bottom of the barrel, all right, to losing every country's respect. And it's going to take us some time to build all that back.
Hmm.
All right. So our system can no longer be reformed. It must be transformed.
I think it has to be broken down and destroyed and
Start
something.
over. It
Yeah,
has to, yeah,
that's what Thomas Jefferson said the same thing. If your
well, we
government's
have
not
to start
working.
over in a whole new concept. First of all, the United States of America is too complex and has too many different sections to be run by a president of the United States.
Hmm.
All right. We really, California, the state you're in, is the fourth richest country in the world. If
Right.
you were to take the whole West Coast and New York, you've got everything of value in the United States except for the Midwest food belt, corn belt.
Okay.
Basically, you've got Wall Street in New York, and you've got all the technology in California and Washington and the airplanes as well. Boeing's there in
Well,
Washington.
let's keep in focus because we want to do a reading on Donald Trump. What do you see this year? What's happening in February, March, April, May, and June?
Oh, Donald Trump's going to get worse, far worse. I mean, what you need to look at is you got to realize that you're looking at a man that knows he's sick and he's not telling us. Number one. Okay.
Pay the doctors to say that he's well.
Of course.
Oh
Of course he
boy,
does. Well,
that's
no,
so
he
frustrating.
threatens them. He threatens them. All right. He threatens. He doesn't pay. Yeah, he does pay some people. But most of them he threatens with the destruction of them, is what he does. And they go along because it's just too difficult not to. And he picks people who will go along.
Yeah.
All right. His health is not good. His mental health, his physical health are not good.
Hmm.
But he's getting erratic. He's getting very erratic.
Yeah.
Okay? He's losing Republicans now, not just Democrats.
Hmm.
He's losing his own party right now.
Well, he's losing. You mean he's already lost Democrats.
Well,
He's
he a long time ago lost Democrat, but he's also now losing
yeah.
part of the Republican Party as
Yeah.
well.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And he's presenting things that have no okay. He's presenting a health care bill that says, I'm going to give you the money so you can pay the insurance companies with no idea how it would be implemented. Okay. And pass it, Congress. But they don't have a plan. There is absolutely no continuity in the concept that he's given us and the actuality of implementing it.
Hmm.
Okay. That's missing. It's not there.
Hmm.
Because he can't do that. Donald Trump's not able to do that. That's just not, it's really tragic that people don't fact check all of this information because he just lies and lies and lies and covers more lies with more lies.
Hmm.
All right. And he shouldn't have gotten away with it so far, this far. But there's going to be some shocking events in the future. I'm warning your ear.
Hmm.
Nothing is laid out in granite. Even as an intuitive, we can see things, but it's kind of like looking at a kaleidoscope. A
Okay.
slight turn in any direction can change outcomes, Jim.
Hmm.
All right. So, by what I'm looking at right now, I'm seeing some miracles ahead of us that are just wonderful. All right. That's why I say the good and the bad and the ugly. All
Okay.
right. But
Um.
they're going to come at a time when we are terrified, quite frankly. All right. And everybody should be worried that this man carries around the case with all the nuclear buttons.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, they should be terrified about that because he doesn't have full command of his faculties. However, somebody that you would never suspect in a million years is going to expose him.
Hmm.
And it's in a very high position.
Okay.
Okay. And so it's going to get turned inside out this year. This is going to be the year everything is turned inside out. I hate to say this, but I don't feel that our vice president has the skill set
Well, why would you hate to say that when it's actually probably true?
I don't feel like, number one, he has the skill set, nor does he have the backing.
Well, he also doesn't have the charisma. He's kind of a boring guy
He's a totally
compared to
boring
Trump.
guy.
Yeah.
Totally
I mean,
boring guy.
he's got a
So
very
we're going to see 2 years.
uh-huh.
We're going to say ins and outs, upside downs, and around and abouts before. And it's the evolution of change comes from bits and pieces. Got that? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? It's the bits and pieces that come together that takes time. You don't even see it happen until you realize it's happening. And one of the good things I will say is that Donald Trump is going to veto a health care bill. But when he vetoes that health care bill, we're going to see that he's really not got anything to offer up to the people. And the Republicans are going to get terrified. They already know they're going to lose the election in November. All right.
Mhm.
They know that.
Unless it's rigged.
Yeah, they know they're going to lose that. And they're terrified because they're now hearing from their constituents because this insurance thing is a nightmare for people right now. It's a total nightmare. And our deficit is being called to attention by Donald Trump saying he's going to buy Greenland. Okay. So going back to Donald,
Mhm.
Donald's going to get exposed this year. There's a potential that Donald will know, there's a potential out there of Donald no longer being our president after this year. All
Okay.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's out there as well. There's some conditions that have to occur. And it's like a 60-40 right now. Okay. So I can't give you 100% on that,
Mm-hmm.
but I want you to realize that we're in a 2026 is a one new beginning year. It's
Okay.
leaving behind all the old systems that don't work.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I see a lot of young people coming up with new concepts and ideas, new ways of dealing with things. And
Okay.
that's wonderful, quite frankly.
Mm-hmm.
So Donald Trump's power is diminishing this year.
I see
Donald
that.
Trump's becoming very obvious,
Mm-hmm.
and Donald Trump's health problems are growing by the day,
Mm-hmm.
right? Take a look at him. Just
Yeah.
look.
He doesn't look good.
No, he's a sick man. All right. He's a sick man walking, quite frankly.
Mm-hmm.
And and the level of his temperament is what's going to cause the problem. It's going to be his nervous system that causes the problem because of his rage and his anger and he's never dealt with that side of himself
But
yet.
a lot of people are saying he's going to be assassinated.
There's a possibility of that. That's
Okay.
one of the 60-40s that's out here. There's a possibility of that. I hope that doesn't happen because I'd hate to see him made a martyr because we have a tendency to make martyrs out of people assassinated.
Yeah.
So if there's a possibility. My son's highly intuitive, and before he even ran for office,
Mm-hmm.
before he even got out there and did his thing,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
while Biden was in, he said, "Wow, he saw 3 assassination attempts on Donald Trump.
He did.
He saw three."
Three.
Yeah,
Okay. Where's the fourth? What happens to the fourth? There will be
no.
no.
Well, two have already happened. The third hasn't.
Yeah. Two have already happened.
So the third one could be the successful one, quite frankly.
Hmm. I see. Well,
And the ace thing is going to be a real, this killing of this woman is
oh,
really causing people to really, because now he's saying they can do anything they want. So he's making ICE his police state. What ICE is his private police.
yeah.
That's what they are.
And you know what? People don't realize that that Iran, the Shah, had his own private police.
Yes, he
And
did.
that's why people revolted.
That's
Yeah,
right.
America put in its own puppet government over there. People hated it. He was abusive. He was a dictator. He didn't care
Right.
about the people.
That's
He
right.
basically just really abused people, and that's when they decided to revolt. And I think we might be seeing that here.
Well, if you look at every leader of a country who was a dictator, the only dictator who's been very successful is Putin. All the rest have been either removed from office or assassinated,
Yeah.
or they've been had the people revolt against them. It's we're Donald is not smart like Putin is. Putin's a bright man. He's a very smart man.
Mhm.
And he's in a country that's used to being controlled. There's never been a democracy. So there's a big difference between what Donald Trump is trying to do in a country that's been free and
Mhm.
what Putin's doing in a country that has not been free.
Okay.
So, and Donald Trump does not have he does, see, he has the showmanship, all right, and he's got the luck in his chart. And that's what's got him so far successful.
Mhm.
But karma is about to hit him in the you know what, because Pluto's sitting there in the 12th house, and the
Yeah.
12th house governs government. It's getting triggered right now, big time.
Mhm.
And so the consequences are very difficult. Let me see what kind of a personal year he's in too. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 11 is two. Okay, he can't keep his mouth shut this year. He's in one of those years where he just cannot keep anything to himself. Everything that comes in his mind comes out his mouth. And that's his mouth is going to be his demise.
You think?
It's going to be what puts him under.
Is he well protected? Because I mean, I think
He's afraid of being poisoned, so he has to open a fresh bottle of ketchup at lunch every day. He
uh
only opens little tiny bottles because he loves ketchup. He's
oh,
terrified of being poisoned. Why do you think he goes to McDonald's and those kind of restaurants? Because they don't know the food is going to him, but the kitchen does.
interesting.
Interesting, right? So a lot of the reason why he eats all the wrong foods, by the way.
Oh, well, yeah, he told it. Yeah.
I mean, he's the cholesterol medicine that he's on to control his cholesterol is is double what normally normal people take.
Hmm.
And if he's not taking coenzyme 10, that's really hard on the heart.
Right.
Very.
So where do you see? Okay, let's talk about. He's talking about his health. Let's talk about the United States, because of course, yes, he's. Where do you think his policies will take the United States? Because I, for one, don't see Greenland being taken over.
No, we're not going to take Greenland over it. As a matter of fact, this whole thing with Venezuela is going to push things to a head because we don't have the rights to their oil. This is ridiculous. It costs a fortune to process that oil. It's not worth the amount of money that it would take for the oil industry to process it.
One thing also is all the major oil companies in the United States are already doing business with the
They're
is
already there.
they're already there.
What
Why?
he's doing all the wrong things. And he's not caring about the United States.
No.
He's putting everything out here, which there's a revolution coming. There is a revolution coming.
Mhm.
Absolutely, because people are fed up with what's going on with our government, and that's what will create new people coming out to create
Mhm.
new ways, and there's going to be a new structuring coming. You're going to see it. There's new structuring. So I I have been praying for divine intervention.
Mhm.
I don't normally I usually ask for guidance
Mhm.
for the highest order for everyone, but now I'm praying for divine intervention. I
Okay.
want divine intervention to get in his way.
But why? Why? Okay. So then, why can't it get in his way? Like, so that he never got elected.
Because it's a time of change and we needed something to bring us to a head to see that we were going in the wrong direction, that we needed to shift and change, and we haven't. It's kind of like the time when we finally said we don't have the right to keep black people as slaves. That's wrong.
Of
And
course.
Abraham Lincoln had to say, hey, we're freeing them. But
Mhm.
then the people revolted and we had a civil war over that one
Yeah.
before we got that. And we're still finishing out completing that one. Now we're going backwards. We're going backwards, and now we're kicking out anything with Latino blood out of the country or
Right.
anything that spells of immigrant when every single one of us is an immigrant except for Native Americans.
It's
It's ridiculous. So
sometimes.
what
Sometimes
I'm
you
saying
wonder.
is
Go
it's
ahead.
not written in granite. Nothing's written in granite.
Hmm.
But what I see out there is chaos.
Hmm.
I also see miracles in the midst of the chaos.
Really? Because I don't see that.
It's kind of like, okay, I'll use an example. I'll
Uh-huh.
use a simple example in my life. All right.
Okay.
We all have fears that come up. And this is a time when our fears, everybody's fear, comes to a head so
Hmm.
they can live with it, see it, and
Hmm.
move beyond it. Okay.
Okay.
This week, I went up to the mailbox to get my mail,
Mhm.
Got in my car to drive up to the mailbox because I live in a complex. The mail does not get delivered to our houses. It goes into the top of the hill into 13 separate boxes we have up there. So we have to
Mhm.
drive to
Right.
get it. All right. Standing there talking to a neighbor, I felt something bite me on the back of my leg. I
Oh.
had 5-inch centipede that crawled up the back of my pants and bit me twice on my behind and the back of my leg. I
Ouch.
have had a fear since I moved here in 2009 of
Uh-huh.
centipedes. Okay. I've had a horrible fear. I've heard stories about it. It's like acid, it's days, and oh, they go to the emergency room. Horrible stories. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Yes, it hurt. Hurt for 3 hours. Got past it. Realized, I've had,
Mhm.
I did some interesting things that purified and cleansed my blood so the venom didn't stay in my body as long as it could have. So
Right.
by the next day, I was fine, fine, fine.
Mhm.
I've had bee stings that hurt me for more days. I'm no longer afraid of centipedes. It
So,
was not
so,
a big
so,
deal. So look at your fear. Your fear is countries at war, loss,
mhm.
right? So we might face a little bit of that to
Okay.
move beyond it to create a way in which it doesn't happen again. Finally,
Yeah, I predict a
don't give
nuclear
all the
war.
money to the wealth of the world, but we create a new system. We don't have enough money in the world to pay our debt, okay? There's not enough money to pay our debt.
No.
It's a joke if you look at it. I mean, there's no gold backing of those bills. All right, we're going to have a whole new system. Actually, some of what's going to be happening was written in a book in 1970 and revised in 1980 called The Aquarian Conspiracy
Right.
by Marilyn Ferguson. I mean, a lot of what she says in there is very accurate.
Hmm.
And
So you don't think that you personally you do I see the end of the American empire. It feels that it's already in decline and China's ready to take
we have been the codependent country, okay? And as the codependent country, we've been doing things. One of the things I will say for Donald Trump is
Mhm.
he was trying to get people in Europe to pay their fair share because the United States pays way more than anybody else.
Yes.
All right. And so we needed that to have some balance there.
Mhm.
But as far as we are a, how would I put this, evolving humanity.
Hmm.
As an evolving humanity, we need to really move beyond the power over others.
Hmm.
All right. The controlling China is ahead of us in every area. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every area. Okay. However, China needs us as a customer. See, there's a balance there that you don't that there's a balance. We're required to, they're smart and understand that to make money off of us, not to destroy us.
Right.
Donald's trying to be the destroyer. All right, the Middle East has been doing this for years. That doesn't work.
No.
Like, that just doesn't work. How I see the system changing is what we tried to do a long time ago when we formed alliances to be there for one another.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because all of the European countries and ourselves and Canada were alliances
Hmm.
beyond China and Russia. Okay.
Okay.
United States as a country by itself, no. All right. We sent away the geniuses from all the other countries. Donald Trump did that. We
Hmm.
lost all these researchers to back to where they're from that were here. So we've gone backwards to go forward. However, it's a system beyond what you're looking at, Jim. You're
Hmm.
looking at a revision of the system we presently have. That's not what's coming. What's coming is beyond revision. It's initiating a brand new system of being, a sharing in a way that is done in a much more profitable way for all the countries
Hmm.
and for all the people. The supply and demand, you're going to see a whole different system come up. We are either headed to a point or a barter system in this world because monetary means nothing in that it's not backed by anything real,
Right.
right?
Okay.
So we're headed for a whole new system. Donald Trump will be the catalyst for that. He'll be known as the worst president we ever had, but he
Mhm.
will also be known as the catalyst for creating a system better than what we had.
Okay, as long as that doesn't mean anything good, because as far as I'm concerned, I mean, he's creating enemies for us. I mean, all these
Well, it's
terrorists.
kind of like, yeah, but if somebody doesn't speak up and do something, change doesn't occur.
Hmm.
Okay. And because of who he is, we are forced to change. So sometimes it's the thorn in the side that creates change. He'll be known as the catalyst. Now, when I say catalyst, that's not good.
Hmm.
It means you were so bad, we had to change.
Right,
You did things
exactly.
so wrong. We found where all the loopholes were in our government, where we gave way too much power to a president.
Hmm.
All right.
Yep,
We
that's
way
true.
too much power to an individual. And he's not even going right now. Federal judges have said they can no longer do things to protesters in Minneapolis, and they've given instructions for ICE to ignore it.
Well, I mean, I still can't believe that that even have to be. You can't do anything. Protesting is our right. It's our
It's a
First
legal
Amendment.
right by the First Amendment of the
But
United
the
States.
thing is that we are obviously heavily, probably more so, influenced by Israel. And I think Donald Trump is enormously controlled by the Israel lobby. And I can't, I mean, it kind of scares me to say this, but it just seems like he's doing everything what Netanyahu is telling him to do.
It's not
If,
Netanyahu.
okay,
He's
who is it?
following Hitler's book, and Putin has got some stuff on Trump that he doesn't want to. Putin's Putin's a very smart man.
Yeah, he
I
is.
realized when Donald Trump scammed all the banks in New York, took advantage of all the banks, filed bankruptcy so many times, and took advantage of all those contractors, he had to go outside the United States for money. Okay.
Right.
He started going to Russia.
Hmm.
He set up with the Bank of Ukraine for him to get money. But they have so much stuff on him.
Hmm.
Putin owns Trump. It's not Netanyahu that owns Trump. It's Putin. But his son-in-law is Jewish. Okay. Jared, Jared is Jewish. Okay.
If you think about it, it's like all the presidents have some sort of. Look at Bill Clinton. His daughter married a Jewish man.
Yeah. Well,
Three
you
of
know,
Biden's daughters.
there was a great book written about the Kennedy family, although she said it was fictional, but if you read it, you'll know it's not. And it was called Captains and Kings.
I'm just looking at it.
Taylor Caldwell was the author. Highly recommend everybody read that book. It talks about this group of people that run the world
Uh-huh.
behind all the leaders everywhere, of which Joe Kennedy was one of them. All right.
Right.
And so if you read it, it'll make sense that I could see how that could be. How we create disrest, unrest in this country and that country. We create this problem and that problem in order to create a balance. See, we've been playing the game called How I Get Out of Depression is with a war for a long time.
Mhm.
How I
Right.
get out of a bad economy is create war toys and get into a war. We can't do that anymore. We're beyond that now.
Right.
Yet the old games are trying to be played out there, but it's not going to work.
So do you think that he's going to be, you're saying he's the one, he's going to be rated as the worst president ever.
Absolutely.
But why?
Because he only ruled over one party. He denied the Democrats. He only sends ICE to the blue states. He was not a president of the United States. He was a president of the Republican Party, which is not the position he's supposed to hold. All
Well,
right.
I think it goes way beyond that.
And he's a con man. He's a crook. He's the first crook we've had hold the position of presidency. There will be a movie about the total corruption of Donald Trump. There'll be a book that goes into detail about Donald Trump. And you're going to, and the people that got behind him are going to be in shock at just how corrupt this guy is.
The people behind him, I don't think that no matter what this man does, I mean, he's a pedophile. He's accused of.
He's all of it.
Let
He's
me ask,
all of it.
is he a pedophile, or
Yes.
let me ask you this question: is he a pedophile, or does he not want the Epstein files released because he's trying to protect his donors? Are his donors pedophiles?
Well, it's a twofold answer to that.
Okay.
He wants his rich friends to be protected, absolutely.
Hmm.
And there was parents of a 13-year-old girl took him to court, and in order to hide it, he gave them a huge payoff, but part of that payoff was a non-disclosure.
Yeah.
So they can't even talk about it. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So she's 13 years old. That's a pedophile.
Okay. So that's so okay. So
He also paid Epstein they have the copy of the check
hmm.
that paid Epstein. What was that for? We don't know.
So where do you think Trump supporters, I mean, these guys, I mean, first of all, most Trump supporters I know, and I don't mean to put down an audience or anything like that, but they don't seem that offended if he is a pedophile or offended that, they don't know that these tariffs are actually taxes on us, U.S. citizens.
They didn't know that the Affordable Care Act was Obamacare either.
That's true.
All right. So you're talking about a population like in the South, a lot of them are uneducated. A lot of them are voting that way because daddy voted that way and granddaddy voted that way. It has nothing to do with the candidate, it has to do with the party.
Hmm.
Okay. Also, they're really lied to.
Oh, yeah.
They're majorly lied to.
Well, they go by emotion. And Fox News does a good job in enhancing their emotion. They use it. So let me ask this: what's going to happen to his marriage? He's got a son, Barron, who's kind of I've never heard that kid's voice.
That's the brightest one of all his kids.
Really? Okay.
That's the one you want to watch out for.
Mm-hmm.
Not Don Jr. or Eric.
Mm-hmm.
Watch out for Barron. Barron has a very calm demeanor. He has social skills that his mother taught him. He's lethal. Don't kid yourself. That's the one you want to watch. Is Barron. She's getting everything she wants from him.
Uh-huh.
Melania's making all this money off this movie, this documentary. How many $8 million Netflix gave her for this documentary?
Oh, really? There's a documentary about
$8
Melania?
million. Oh yeah. $8 million they gave her for this documentary about Melania. She's getting this.
Does she love
Before,
him? Does she love
of course not. Before she, before he ran for president, all she had in their prenup, all she had in the prenup was one floor in the Trump Tower in Manhattan, New York,
him? Hmm.
and support for her son until he was of age.
Okay.
Okay, that's all she had. But when he ran for office, guess what he had to do?
Hmm.
To cough up. Change. He had to change their prenup. All right. And then the second time around, she wanted more. So look what she's doing now. All right. She's got her own everything that he's doing. She's got her own programs running. She's at the White House part of the time and she's in New York part of the time. But she's not, she only goes to events that she has to go to. All
Okay.
right.
So I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and you just give the shortest answer possible. Okay. Donald Trump 1 year from now, where do you see him?
Screaming for attention.
Donald Trump 5 years from now,
No more.
dead?
Not here. Not on the planet.
What is his perception of the world? I mean, what are people's perception of him? What's his going to be his people? What do they see him as?
There are those who still think he's a hero, and most of them are still dealing with a lot of the shifts and changes that he caused,
Okay.
and they hate him.
Donald Trump 20 years from now.
He's looked at as a criminal for
Hmm.
who he is. He's looked at as another kind of form of Hitler, a disaster, and new laws have been written all over the place to protect us from that ever happening again.
Hmm. Okay.
Including one of the things that's going to be coming up is an independent psychological test for anyone running for office.
Hmm. Independent psychological test. So, well, that's going to be very interesting to see. Do you see that America is in decline because of Donald Trump, or is it because of years and years of?
It's an accumulation of even a lot of things that went on before Donald Trump. Okay. We've been in deficit debt for a long time. I mean, Roosevelt created Social Security, then he immediately borrowed from Social Security to pay for World War II. And then they borrowed from Social Security to pay for the Korean War. And they borrowed Social Security to pay for Vietnam. I mean, the Social Security would not be running out of money if they didn't borrow it out for wars.
Mhm.
And they're
Mhm.
just paying, and all they pay is interest on that money.
Hmm.
That's all.
Mhm.
Okay. They've never paid it back.
That's horrible. That's
Then
not.
Donald Trump has been taking funds too and taking money he took money from FEMA, he took money from all over the place to buy the things he wants to buy. All right. To do the things he wants to do. So, United States is in change. It's in massive change. So, its picture of what he created for the world has been severely damaged.
Yeah.
All right. And with that will come shifts and changes, but it's always going to rise to the top because one of the things even China acknowledges is there's so much brilliance in the United States. I mean, one of the smart things that Gavin Newsom did is that when Robert Kennedy got rid of all the brains behind disease, California hired them.
Mhm.
They're working now in California, continuing research so that we don't lose them to other countries. We would have lost them, like we lost a lot of the geniuses already from all the things that Elon Musk got rid of. A lot of our scientists are gone that we had. They're gone. They're
Mhm.
back in Germany and many other countries because they got rid of the departments that they were working for. And so Gavin saw that and grabbed these people, and he's got four other states working with him on it. So that was a smart thing that Gavin Newsom did.
So there are some lobbyist people, Miriam Adelson for one, who gave Trump about $100 million. A very wealthy lady.
Yeah, Las Vegas.
She's trying to convince him to run for a third term. I don't see him even lasting after this year or two. I can't. How is
He
it
will not
possible?
make it. He will not make it to a third term. There's no way.
I don't see
Not only
that.
that, I'll just say this, that the very wealthiest of the wealthy are doing very well under Donald Trump.
Oh yeah,
All
that's why
right.
he's still.
Yeah, the
Yeah, he's
wealthiest
tweeting
are
nothing.
doing. But but the problem is we've been going out of control for a long time, Jim. It's what brought my attention to this even more. There is a series out right now called 11/22/63.
Mhm.
All right. It takes me back to what I was paying for things at that time. I graduated in high school in 1960.
Mhm.
Without a college education, I could rent an apartment and live just fine. All
Yep.
right.
Mhm.
I mean, and I'm looking at the prices in this movie, remembering them going, we are out of control. The income versus the cost of living was just so much more balanced. Now it's just households can't just have two incomes, they'd have three and four and five incomes. It's really, really out of control. And I really see it here in Hawaii, where I see so many young people living with four and five other young people just to be able to pay the bills.
Happening here in California. Yeah.
It's everywhere. Okay. It's everywhere. So that has to become back to a point of balance. And it can do it very easily. And it's very interesting because those who have, trillionaires, billionaires should be feeding that money should be fed back
Mhm.
into the country.
That's
Absolutely.
what they do. That's what happened with China. The government is a top notch, but you're still allowed to be a billionaire in China. However, nobody's above the government. They keep a very close eye on everybody, and they put CEOs in jail if there's corruption. Here, the billionaires, and this is the thing about democracy, the billionaires, they run the nation.
They also provide housing for all their people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They live in apartments, but they're taken care of. They have their apartments.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
let me ask you this: Melania and Donald Trump, stay married or divorce? Or Melania is
Well,
just going to be free from debt?
she's going to be a widow.
Okay.
They're not going to get divorced. She'll be a widow,
Okay.
not a divorcee.
I don't think presidents and presidents' wives divorce. I mean, look at Bill and Hillary. I can't believe
Well,
that.
they don't need to. They have their own lives anyway. They have their own lives.
Okay.
You know, she has a beautiful floor in the Trump Towers in New York. She's
Who,
got the
Hillary?
Largo. She can do anything she wants. She's
Talking
the
Hillary?
first lady.
Oh,
She can sell books like Michelle Obama does. She can make documentaries because she's the first lady. Why would she give all
talking
that up?
Melania. Okay. What's that?
Why would she give any of that up?
No, I mean, just I'm just wondering. Okay, so we predict that Donald Trump may not last after 1 year because of his health. We don't think he's definitely not going to run a third term. Him and Melania are not really a couple. She's just sort of like a trophy wife.
Well, they're a couple, but they're a couple of convenience.
Yeah, yeah, marriage of convenience. And we see him eventually that his legacy will be tarnished after because of his presidency.
Hmm. Absolutely.
So, I mean, I guess
In
there's really
fact,
not
what's
much.
really fascinating
Mhm.
is how they're going to have to change the names on all those hotels and things.
What will be his best and worst accomplishment, do you think?
His, his, his ability to control. It's kind of like we can hate Hitler, but man, you got to admire the guy for all the things that he created and that people let him do. Well,
Mhm.
look what Trump has done. I mean, quite frankly, he has been able to open up all the weaknesses in our system so we can correct them.
Mhm.
I think one of the things he's done the best is shown where all of our gray areas are,
Right.
that we should have plugged holes in a long time ago. We always relied on the integrity of a person in that office to not push the envelope, so to speak. Nixon was the first one that tried it. All right. But the party was against what he did.
Mhm.
Well, by the time we got to Trump, we had rebels that didn't care.
Right.
All right. And he's really, really going to be known for the fact that he took criminals on January 6th and made them heroes and gave them jobs in the White House.
Yes, right. And not only, and now what do you see happening to ICE? I see that ending pretty badly. I
Oh,
think
it's not going to be it's not going to be a pretty picture
oh,
because in fact, these people are not trained. There was a reporter who was a marijuana smoking reporter that applied to be an ICE agent, and they claimed that they have to go through all this scrutiny and all this investigation, and they have to take tests, and she did it all. All right, 48 hours they had her hired. Never looked at the marijuana in her system. Never did a background check on her of any kind, or they would have known she was just a joke doing this.
I predict an ICE agent will be shot and killed.
Oh,
And then and
that's
then
easy to
there's
see. Yep, I would see that. I could say yeah on that.
I would say that that will give Donald Trump the excuse to create martial law.
Well, Donald Trump will be stopped by his own people. All right. Um, Things in Minneapolis are coming to a head. And now he's sent in, he wants to call out an insurrection and send in even more. It's spooky there, and everybody knows it's been the police chief is really having a hard time because they're trained. They know how to approach a car. They know you don't do what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're treating people like animals.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that can happen. Yes, that could happen. Could very easily happen. But if that did happen, I think you're going to see the people rise up against him. It's kind of like Vietnam when Johnson and everybody rebelled. And it got to a point where he just couldn't handle it anymore and he had to stop the war. It was just
Do you
rebel.
see, personally, I think Venezuela might just be the last war we'll fight. I also see that the United States is going to get involved in the Middle East because Israel wants to attack Iran. And I see that as a total disaster for both Israel and the United States. What do you think? Will that be those two wars, Venezuela and Iran, are they going to be what turns the American hegemony, I guess hegemony, um, into second place now or third place?
There's a potential there, Jim, but I don't, there's an people ever since the mass weapons of destruction that never occurred in Iraq.
Mhm.
People don't want their sons going off and being killed in wars that have no merit whatsoever,
Mhm.
particularly in the Middle East, right? people hate Netanyahu. I see people up in arms about this and going against the rebellion he's created to do things against judges and etc. The people are going to retaliate with that. I hate to say it, but they will.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
Iran cleaned
and one
up.
of the rising stars is going to be Kelly.
Mike Kelly.
He, Mark Kelly
He's a
is a
tough guy.
hero. He is a hero.
Yeah.
He is an astronaut. He is a straight arrow. All right. And his voice is going to rise up and sing out louder and louder and louder. And he's got all these people that he's trying to take away everything that they earned in the military because they told the truth. Don't do anything illegal. You
Mhm.
do not have to follow illegal orders because Hegseth doesn't know what he's doing. He's no skill set.
I
What's
look at him as a joke.
well, all the people in charge are jokes. They're just loyalists to Donald Trump. These are
That's
just
all right.
loyalists. That's all they are.
Same thing with Cash Patel. I think the same.
He's not going to get the backing. The backing's not there, Jim.
No, no.
It's just not there.
I at any rate, I
I would
see.
suggest you and all your followers out there do pray for divine intervention to prevent any loss, any more loss of life, quite frankly.
Mhm.
All
I think.
right? Because each person has the power, but they need to exercise it.
Mhm. All right. Well, you heard it right there. So I think we all need to ask the universe for divine intervention and try to save our nation because it's really a good nation and a lot of people have opportunities over here. That's why my dad came here, back in the 70s. We came here
A
because
beautiful country.
yeah, it's a beautiful country, and I think we all got to play our part in that.
Right.
Right now, it's held captive. We got to free it. All right. Well, with Jan Venturini giving us a rundown on the future of Donald Trump, future of our nation, and with that being said, this is going to be found in both Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So stay tuned. If you have any questions, well, we can go ahead. You can always contact us at info@truthseekingsouls.com. Be well, everybody.